Okay, let's get into meditation. Let's start doing some integrating. And when we integrate, perhaps we're ending a cycle and starting a new one. So, not necessarily, but maybe, maybe. Cool. So, go ahead, close your eyes, get comfortable. And this is the part where Jonah, who edits my videos, thanks, Jonah. I know you're watching. Sometimes she'll message me, hey, I heard that funny part. This is the part where she cuts to the meditation. and today we're going to work on some spiritual maturity. Yeah. When we start integrating, that's when we find spiritual maturity. And when we find some spiritual maturity, we realize, hey, I'm not that special. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfectly enlightened. And I'm also not a piece of shit. I'm all right. I'm lovable and I'm growing and I'm living in this 3, 4 dimensional world. And your ability to accept reality and start to integrate and be present in an imperfect way, that's going to lead to a comfortable, much more comfortable experience on this planet. Nobody reaches enlightenment through stress, right? The Buddha didn't say, hold your breath. Yeah. So let's unwind a little bit. Let's relax. Take a few deep breaths. Just a few. You're not allowed too many. Few nice deep breaths. Expand your stomach a little bit. As always, I like to say drop your shoulders away from your ears if you've been holding up the day too much. Yeah, and just settle into this moment. As a teacher of mine would always say, that the silence and the stillness that you're looking for, it's already here, and you're just kind of landing into it. It's not like you have to do something to earn silence. It it really has no um, judgment on who you are or what you're doing. Silence, stillness have no requirements on how good of a person you need to be or what you need to do with your life or anything. It's right here all the time for every being that exists. It's almost like this infinite well that all of creation comes from. And you can touch it at any moment you want. And as you do, any of the noise in your mind, the judgment, trying to control things, it starts to melt away. You can't control silence. You can't move stillness. You have absolutely no power over it. Let that humble you. You have no power over it. And there's nothing you can do to deserve it. You already have it. And this is your foundation. So whenever you start meditating, you can recognize this is always here for me. This is the source of energy that I come from. We can call this the ground of being. And there's so much wisdom here. If you're ever trying to figure something out, just come back to silence and allow the wisdom of the silence to move through you. And it's so easy for us to just be jumping almost like from one lily pad to another all day long, or from one rock to another as we skip across the river. You got to get up and do breakfast, email, do this, do that, lunch, exercise, da 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 da. And it's almost like we become different people to meet each of these moments. I'd like you to just come back to your center right now. Just bring yourself back from all of that. Allow yourself to feel the most you. What what does it feel like to feel the most you? You don't have to define that, just sense it. Just like you have a signature that's very specific to you, your voice is very specific to you, your eyes, when someone looks into your eyes. And then there's an energy in you. Let yourself just experience that for a moment. And this energy might even come with a color. Might have a certain vibration to it. And it should feel like coming home. You'll notice it's not perfect, it's not imperfect. It just is you. And then see if you can allow yourself to almost look around as you. All right, here I am. Here's my energy. This is me. Come back to my center to some extent. And then see if you could just look around for a moment. Go, what is it in my life that I haven't fully integrated yet that I'm ready to bring back into me, understand at a deeper level, and make part of a deep sense of the wisdom that I carry? Not just knowledge and information, but real wisdom. So perhaps it's an experience you've had. Wow, I've gone through all that pain in relationships or loss or turbulence in my career, or I've reached the height of success and found emptiness. I know what it's like to beat up on myself. I think I understand what love is now through certain experiences. Allow something to arise that you're really ready to own at a deeper level and bring into your center. And the way that you start to bring it into your center, let's just do it by steps. Step one, just acknowledge it. Acknowledge the experience and allow yourself in step two to just let go of it needing to be complete or perfect. So if you go, oh, well, I just had these heartbreaks, is that wisdom? Yes, if you look at it clearly and understand what you've experienced and what it's taught you. Or loss, or being around certain kinds of negative people, or seeing limitations. So step one, just acknowledge it, look at it clearly. Step two, recognize there's no like end to this necessarily. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to have done it right. That's just an illusion that you were supposed to do it differently. It unfolded just as it was supposed to. Perhaps this is the most important part, is just to acknowledge that it unfolded just as it was supposed to. And if there's any pain around that, or sorrow, or resistance, that's fine. Can you notice that the pain, sorrow, resistance is there just as it's supposed to be? That may be part of the wisdom. Honor how complicated and deep your life is, how life is entrusting you with such incredible lessons and experiences. You're at the center of a consciousness that is going through so much in one lifetime. The entire universe is awakening through you. It's understanding itself through you. It's finding enlightenment through you. And enlightenment comes from wisdom, and wisdom comes from experience. And wisdom comes from acceptance and integrating whatever energy and experiences we're having and we've had. So, step one, we're just acknowledging it, seeing it, Step two, recognizing it doesn't have to be perfect or complete. And then step three, we're inviting the wisdom, the energy, the lesson deeper into ourselves. Just like you learn a language, you learn how to read, you learn how to walk, you learn how to sing. It integrates into you, it becomes a part of who you are, and then it expresses outwardly. Personal growth, spiritual growth is the same. I've had this loss, I've had this heartbreak, I've had that resistance, I've had that self judgment, that body shame, that guilt, that limitation. I'm having this awareness and I'm integrating it. Until you're the encyclopedia of experience, of human experience, not something out of a book. You are the book. So, step one, we acknowledge it and see it. Step two, we accept its imperfection. Step three, we bring it in and we integrate it. You don't have to have whatever experience or pain that you've gone through, just sit on the outside periphery of your awareness, always peering over at it. Bring it in. One day somebody may ask you, how did you handle loss? How did you experience limitation? A lack of self-confidence? So the great illusion is that you are supposed to do it right or do it better. That is the great illusion that someone who's in the quadrant of just knowledge and information will never understand until they step into that deep space of integration. You can't read a book on how to swim and jump in the ocean and think you won't drown. And so, as this energy integrates, we're going to add a fourth step here before we finish, which is when and as you integrate all of this information, healing, wisdom, what are you becoming? Is there a mentor emerging out of you, a teacher, a guide, a lover, a healer, a creator of some kind? What is one energy that, as you integrate this wisdom, what is one energy that wants to start developing and expressing out of you? Life is not a one way street, it's not just an inner journey. You have to be part of humanity. So get a sense. Maybe you see an image or you just get a sense of one kind of energy that's developing from you that wants to manifest into the world. And see if you can start to own that about yourself. Allow yourself to feel it and almost shine out of you. Let it start to shine out of your being. Do you think that the Buddha, when he was, 9 years old, had it all figured out? Or Pema Chodron, right? There are no exceptions to the rule of needing experience and integrating wisdom. So, what are you developing into? Before we finish this meditation, I want you to really start to get a sense of it and own it. No one's going to do it for you. Take a nice big deep breath in. Easy, soft sigh out. Great work. When you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes and stretch.